Welcome to Mark Bajerski YouTube channel. Welcome to sunny Costa del Sol, where it must be in its 20s. It's beautiful actually. It's very hot, but I've had to shut the windows because it's so noisy outside at the moment. Today we're going to talk about Tektite. It's been a while, right? Normally when I talk about Tektite, it's normally because it's a joint to another crystal. And if you've ever heard my videos before, I've normally said that Tektite is probably one of the most popular crystals to marriage into another, partnership into another. There's something so special about it. And I cherry picked some beautiful pieces not so long ago. And when I say cherry picked out of maybe 1,000, and I got maybe, I don't know, 50, something like that. And you're looking at a few here, they'll slide if I'm not careful, but I'll show you what they look like. Different, completely different in shape and sizes, of course, just like Moldavite. Always different shapes, unusual, and they're the only ones. That's the only one, and that's the only one. You'll never have anything like it again. Gorgeous. These are polished. Now, some people like them, some people don't like them polished. I get it. I love polished. Don't know why. I've always loved polish. And every time I see Tektite, I kind of fall in love with the polished. I don't know why. I just do. I love it to bits. I love all Tektite, but for some reason I just love them in polished version. Here's a nice teardrop. So I'm working on another bunch in there, another, I think 30, something like that, and that's it. So I've probably got about 60 pieces this time. They sell extremely well. The polished ones always fly out. But there's something special about these. Love them to bits. Absolutely love them all. They've all been sent to Bali once I've finished working on them, and then they get mounted, whether it's a cap finish or T-bar, like this one, or a crossbar like this one. Beautiful. So what is it, Mark? Why is it that you like Tektite so much? You know, when I look back, when I first started this field of work, when I became a healer and worked with crystals on clients, I don't think there were many a day that I wouldn't wear Tektite. And if there's ever a crystal that I wore most of all to sleep, it was Tektite. I don't think there was ever a more common crystal around my neck, and people will confirm this if you ever came for healings and readings with me, that I always had a piece of Tektite around me, sometimes huge piece, sometimes small piece, depending if I'm just doing a talk or if I'm actually doing the work. If I'm doing the work, normally a bigger piece, because I like to handle them. I like a big piece, and then I can work with them on the clients and clear and cleanse away certain points. As a healer, if you're a crystal healer, you'll know that sometimes you'll be guided to a certain point. It could be the knee, and you'll just take the Tektite off and you'll either place it on there or you'll work with that Tektite around the knee till the absorption or the healing process has taken place. And the reason why I say absorption, if there's such a word, it absorbs the energy which is dark, dirty, heavy, demonic, any kind of awful energy which is created by yourself as well. So I think Tektite was probably number one. Number two was Moldavite. Now Moldavite was expensive, so expensive that I couldn't really buy that many pieces, because I ended up giving them away like I did with Tektites, and it's not such a smart move to give away Moldavites when you're not doing that well, when you're just managing to pay all your bills. Tektite not so bad, it doesn't hurt as much, but to be fair, Tektite was probably the most given away crystal, and then Moldavite would have been next, till this day actually. So Tektite's absolutely amazing to join it with any other crystal. It really is, because I see it this way. A crystal does two things. right? Just like a human being does two things. One, we can heal somebody, and two, we do nothing. And for me, a crystal does two things. And the first thing it does is blasts a frequency into the aura, into the human body, and creates a different frequency. It vibrates at a different frequency. And that blasting of energy causes either a disruption to the issue within the body, the block, we call them blocks or traumas or whatever it may be, negative energy. When the crystal blasts its vibration, its energy wave, it disrupts that and it causes that negative energy to disperse. Well, there's something about Tektite that I've never seen with any other crystal, and that it absorbs any residue of whatever's happened. So most crystals send out a frequency, and rarely a crystal will absorb negative energy. I've never seen it before other than Tektite. I've had few people contact me saying they've seen it or they've felt it happening with certain other crystals, but I can only go with what I experienced. I'm not reading from a book or believing. I mean, you may be absolutely right, but I haven't seen it, so I can't say. But over the years of working with clients, I can definitely say that what I saw with Tektite was something that I've never seen with a crystal before, and it absorbs negative energy. So why would you wear Tektite? Well, we live in a world of tools now. We live in a world of plonkers. We live in a world of numpties. We live in a world where judgmentals are all over. We live in a world where people are nasty, angry, boosted up to the eyeballs, so they don't know whether they're coming or going, they're disconnected. There's much reasons why we should be wearing something that will absorb the negative energy given off other people. And I used to wear Tektite along with a lot of healers that I know all over the world. And they wear it too, to not only protect themselves, but to, I guess, the reaction of a healer, most healers, are, it's an empathetic feel that we have, because without that, we won't know what's wrong with our client. When we feel our client and we know what's wrong, we sometimes can pick up that residue, or we can create it within ourselves just to know what that issue is. I'll give you a great example. I can be stood next to somebody and start feeling a pain in my kidney. And I'm like, oof, that hurts, And then the client or the person next to me will say, I'm suffering with a kidney issue. Well, you had to feel that issue, therefore you created that issue. So when you're around plonkers and tools and numpties, you have to feel their energy to know that they're a plonker, numpty, or a tool. So you feel that energy. It's a form of creating it inside you as well, to understand your body's telling you this is what you're next to. So anything that you create in your body, that's just one side of things. You can also take the other side, is when you're dealing with all these people, you start to worry and fear, and you start to feel bad, and you start to wonder what is wrong with humanity. Soon as you start to think those thoughts, you create a negative energy. That energy goes somewhere. And I've often mentioned this before. It always starts from the brain, because you start creating it. And then it rolls down to your eyes, which weakens your eyes, weakens your speech, weakens your chest, your heart, goes down to your stomach. Sometimes it can go lower. It can go down to your knees, and sometimes it can go to your feet. But wherever it sits, it's like a poison. So it needs to be cleared. So most of the time where I found negative energies, where they sit most of all, is around the stomach and around the back. So I often say that when you wear a Tektite, wear it low down to your belly button. Wear it down there, just leave it on. And you don't need to do anything. It does the work for you. You don't need to cleanse it or clear it, because for some reason, this crystal is a self-absorbing crystal of negativity, and it kind of just dissipates. So I've got Moldavites in this room. I've got moldavites everywhere. Um, they're all over the place, but like years and years and years old. And every time I hold it and think, wow, I worked on a client, I worked on maybe 500, made 1,000 clients, 2,000 clients with that, and I've never had to cleanse it. So they're self cleansing. They're the most amazing Tektite. I call them crystals. Easier. They're the most amazing crystals when you're working with the general public. When you're out and about all the time, you're having to be in the supermarket, you're having to go to your children's school days, and you have to be around people. It's good to have something to protect you. And that's why I think I would say Tektite, I've bought more Tektites than any other crystal that I have, and I have well over 350 different types of crystals on my website. And Tektite, I would say I've probably bought in total close to 20,000, maybe more. I'm always buying them. I buy little pieces and I gift them a lot away to children as little. I have them on my website too. They're around about €35, and they come all mounted up. They're perfect for children, and they love them. Messages I get back from mums and dads saying that the kids love their little pendant, and it really does help them. And sometimes they don't even know, but you can see, you can feel. I mean, if I have to go to a supermarket, I'll put my Tektite on, right? And I'll go to the supermarket, I'll come back and I'll take it off and I'll be okay. If I forget to wear it, I'm knackered in 15 minutes. I'm exhausted. So if I'm ever giving a talk, which these days is rare because I don't do that much these days, I'm kind of retired, but I might do radio and stuff. But just in general, if I wear my Tektite through the day and I'm having to interact with a lot of people, it certainly keeps me strong. So when people ask me what does Tektite do, I just think it helps you and it helps the other crystals. It works so well with any crystal that you wear, any crystal at all. Put that, if you're a healer now, practitioner, and you've got maybe somebody coming today or tomorrow and they've told you that they think they've got a psychic attack or there's Kundalini awakening or whatever they've heard, and they're coming to you with, they might be attached with entity. Honestly, guys, just stick a piece of that on their heart, their stomach, their head as you're doing your healing session, and it's incredible. It's incredible, and fantastic. Put them two together with more sit. Put that together with a piece of moldavite and herkimer diamond. Just absolutely out of this world, mind blowing, and you can feel it, and people do feel it. So Tektite to me is, and it always has been, to be fair, it's always been the number one crystal that I recommend every day, because it's the only crystal that absorbs negative energy. And if you constantly recreate your suffering, eventually it'll turn into physical. So if you've got something to absorb the suffering that you're creating, at least your body isn't suffering long term. Your mind might, because it's continuing creating it, but it won't run down. That suffering won't run down and stick to any part of your body if the Tektite is on you. So that's why I love Tektite. I absolutely love it with all my heart. I think I might have a couple of 300 pieces on my website. There's another 50 going on, and we sell them like hotcakes because they are beautiful and affordable and amazing. And I always like to say a little prayer in a special way, like I just have done my sage oil. And with all my Tektites, it's a certain prayer that I use to help people with real difficult issues when it comes to darkness and dark entity and anything very heavy. Every single piece has a prayer in there. So it's the same as my music as well. Not this music, but the music where on my website it says guiding trap spirit into the light. I use the same prayer in black tektite. So I consider them to be powerful, and I love them, and I always feel protected when I'm wearing them. So I just wanted to kind of, I don't know, brush up on tektite because I haven't spoken about it for a long while. And it should be talked about because it really should be in everybody's crystal tool set that you use on clients, and everybody who has a beautiful jewellery box, everybody should have a piece of tektite, and you should wear it often these days because we are living in a world which is certainly becoming more and more challenging with dark energies and entities, and we should protect ourselves. And tektite is 100%, in my humble opinion, over 20 years, the most powerful crystal that I know of that absorbs dark, heavy energies. So there you go. I'll take some beautiful photos of these now and put them on the website as fresh tektites, and I hope you appreciate them. Have a lovely day. Take care.